welcome back to My Kitchen, My Rules. And if you are one of my astute subscribers, you're noticing I'm standing at a different angle in my kitchen in my ongoing efforts to figure out how to make y'all happy with the way that I fix supper around here. And so anyway, it occurred to me last night when I was fixing supper and did not remember to make a video about it, that I'm pretty sure you can tell somebody's age and where they grew up by the number of recipes they use that involve cream of soups, whether it's cream of chicken or cream of mushroom. I don't really know why anybody created cream of celery, but I would imagine that was to satisfy the early pioneers in the vegetarian movement, which I can only guess were on the West Coast. So anyway, I realized I didn't make y'all a video because I was so tired I did not feel like cutting my camera on, if that tells y'all anything. But I reckon I'll go back and make it again because we ate the whole casserole dish slap up and it was a chicken casserole. So now y'all are thinking, well, leave around, show me how to make that. I'm not going to. That's called a teaser. See, I've learned something from staring at the television too much. What I am making for y'all tonight is one of my easiest one skillet suppers ever, and this makes everybody in the family happy. You can make it as spicy as you want. You can make it less spicy if you are so inclined. Frankly, though, I just think life needs more spice on the whole. We just have to balance the spice with the grace, y'all. I mean, this is part of why I think you're supposed to say grace at a meal, because we need more grace in life. And if you're feeling me on that, give me an amen. And I know I need to do it too. I'm certainly not by any stretch of the imagination exactly the version of myself I'm wanting to be, but I'm getting better every day because I have good friends who love me and they encourage me and they fuss at me, and that makes us better. But they don't fuss with ugliness, they fuss with love. Anyway, I just diced up a half an onion while we were talking there, and well, I was talking and y'all were listening, frankly. So let me cut my oven on. We've got our big skillet here and we're going to cut the heat on to about a medium high, which on my stove is about a 5. And if you're wondering why I don't have a gas stove, I live on a land where we don't have natural gas, we have propane. And I'm pretty sure that would eat me out of house and home, so we use electric for this, but I do miss cooking on gas because it's so easy to control the temperatures, y'all. So in addition to that half an onion, we are going to get going with a bell pepper here. I'm going to use the whole thing because I'm living on the edge tonight. And let me get something to lay my mess on over here because, see, I love going off camera since I don't have a crew at all. Let's put our leftover bits of pepper in this here teeter bag, where we were shopping on the way over here, and where I saw one of my realtor friends. I saw my friend Tony Black, and he is going to be the president of the Central Carolina Realtors. And my son was with me, and I said, there's my friend Tony, and he said, he's talking on the phone. I said, baby, he's a realtor. They're always on the phone. So I rolled the window down and spoke to him, and he was on the phone with another realtor because our people just love to chit chat. And of course he was taking care of people because that's how he rolls. And I'll tell you what, if there's ever anybody you meet that doesn't like any other realtor in their market, then I think you should be suspicious, because I love my locals, most of them. They're amazing humans, and I'm so grateful for people like Tony that are willing to lead. So anyway, we're gonna dice up, well, not really dice, I'm gonna rough cut it. Y'all have learned by now I don't do fancy things. You've also learned that occasionally we eat healthy, but more often we eat food that we have to run it off and walk it off, and that's life around my house. But I do think that if you're going to eat unhealthy, eating unhealthy at home is the way to go, because then you can control the amount of stuff you put in there. But anyway, this is all we have to worry about for chopping. Well, not really. All we have to worry about for vegetable chopping. And I can feel my pan getting hot because I'm right here next to it. And this is another one of those super inexpensive meals. We're talking, I'm pretty sure this dinner is going to come in around 10 bucks, and it's going to have enough for 6 people. So that's pretty solid. Let me finish cutting this up right quick. And actually, I'm going to save a half of it because this is going to be enough with half of the bell pepper, because I know that my children will come in the room here shortly and be looking for something to eat because they'll smell the food. Y'all know how that makes you hungry, to smell food cooking. And that's why restaurants give you bread, so you can fill up on the carbs. I will toss mine a little slice of bell pepper, which works just fine to curb your hunger, and they like the taste, and a little bit of salt on it is good, but that's what I like. They don't even put salt on theirs. And at this age, they're teenagers, they don't even put the ranch dressing on it anymore like when we were younger. And maybe that's because they've outgrown it. I don't really know, because I know plenty of grown-ups that don't eat something unless it's slathered up in a sauce of some sort. But bell pepper's got enough flavor to hold its own, friends. So anyway, it's got a nice rough cut there. Nothing fancy. Nothing in my Kit Fitzgerald knife skills. Pan's hot. So let's go ahead and save that half of the bell for later and put it in. You hear it start to talk to us a little bit. I guess that's the ASMR sound. I'm still trying to figure out how to come up with an ASMR for real estate. I imagine it's going to be a popular thing when I figure it out. And by the way, if you're new to cooking, I've noticed some of y'all send me messages are not lifelong cooks. With your non-stick pans, don't use a metal implement. Use your, I use the wooden ones. They're my favorites. Now, what we're going to toss in there next is sausage. Now, you can buy a package of Neese's, but they were out of Neese's tonight, and I about cried a little bit. So I bought the Harris Teeter brand. I think it was a setup to convince me to buy the Harris Teeter brand. So for this recipe, you can use a pound of sausage that you can crumble up. You can use the links, and you can cut up into bites. Timmy picked out the hot ones, so God bless America for the ones in this house that don't really like spice. And we chose not to tell them this evening because that's kind of the fun of eating around my house. Except for my mother. Now, I always make sure not to give her spicy things because she can't handle it. My daddy used to eat that stuff when I was young that would make your eyes water and make your nose run. And that's when he said it was hot enough. And I guess that's why I ate so much Texas Pete. And we're fixing to use some Texas Pete, by the way, friends. But this has to cook for maybe 5 to 6 minutes at this medium-high heat until your onions are translucent. They are your telltale sign that your stuff is good, is when your onions are translucent. And by the way, you want your sausage cooked too, because we have talked about this before, friends. It is a pork product, and we do not want to eat pork that is not cooked all the way. This is not like a fine filet mignon. Pork is a different thing. You know, North Carolina used to be the top pork producing state in the country. But I think we lost that title to Iowa, but it was because Murphy Hogs got big and corporate and bought a bunch of farms in Iowa. And when I first moved out to Iowa, back when I was selling chainsaws, I would run out in the eastern part of the state, and I saw these giant signs. This was in the 90s, and which my children remind me was a century ago. So in the 1990s, there were these big signs out on the hog farms in eastern Iowa that said, "Murphy Hogs, go home." And this is before social media. So people used to make placards for all kinds of things. And I looked it up and I said, well, they don't care for North Carolina a lot. But it was just Murphy Hogs they hated. And that was before all of the retention pond environmental tragedies that happened in the hog industry. But we also know that you have to really look after your small family farmers, y'all, because a lot of the shenanigans that happen with our food happen because of the giant corporate farms. And then they set up little catches that will knock a little small family farm out. So you really got to pay attention. And if you have the chance to buy from a small local farmer, make sure you do that, okay? Because it's good for the community. The food is better. And I say this after I just fixed Harris Teeter sausage. Let's see where they got their sausage from. It does not say. So their headquarters is down in Monroe. So let's just hope it came out of Union County, although there's more poultry down there. We don't really have a lot of hog in Union County. But anyway, we're going to let this brown until it's done. And now after that is browned, I'm just going to go ahead and show y'all why I love this recipe. It's so easy that I can truly fix it while we're on this video. We're then going to add half of a container of chicken broth, and I'm using Swanson's because it's back. Yay! Coronavirus brought my Swanson's, my supply had gone low. And then we need a can of diced tomatoes. If you want you could use Rotel in this if you want to add more spice. This is the diced tomatoes with the green chilies in it. They make the stuff with onions and all that. And don't drain it, by the way. You'll be tempted to drain your onions, get the liquid off. You want the liquid. Trust me on that. So I'm going to keep stirring this. Get our sausage nice and brown. Get those onions translucent. I'm going to go ahead and add some pepper now because we want to. I think if you're a measuring person, you'll add like a teaspoon or thereabouts. But you know I like to put in enough pepper to where I can see it across the top because that's when I feel like I have about enough. But I am going to go a little easy since we're using the hot sauces, so shh, don't tell anybody. And then we're gonna need some Cajun dust, and you can get whatever brand you like, but y'all know I am a North Carolina girl. I use Texas Pete dust because Texas Pete's from Winston-Salem, and that's just what it looks like, the original dust. I use this in a lot of stuff. Y'all already noticed I put it in my hamburgers, and it makes them amazing. We'll fix some for July 4th. I was asking today at the jewelry store, because they're having a giant cool thing going on, and I was finding out what I should make for July 4th. So if y'all have any ideas, let me know. They suggested potato salad, but I don't care for potato salad, and frankly, my kitchen, my rules means if I fix it, it's got to be something I want to eat. So anyway, we're going to be putting about 3 tablespoons worth of this in. Now you can manage this spice to whatever your tastes are. If you do not care for spice, you still need like a tablespoon or it won't have that good Cajun flavor to it. So just be smart. I'm going to use 3 tablespoons worth. If I had the mild sausage, I would probably use 4. And if you're wondering, Lee Brown, where is your Morton salt? I don't see any. You don't really need salt when you're cooking with onion and pepper and Texas Pete and sausage and tomatoes and chicken broth. Even though I have the lower sodium one here, I normally buy the full sodium because I do like salt, but we don't need that much extra this evening, so I don't think you need to add it. So let's get this browned up here. And then the last thing we're going to add in, when this is done browning the tomatoes, half of this container, 3 tablespoons of the Cajun dust, and then I'm going to put in 2 containers of quick rice. Now those of y'all that have your Zoji Rushi machine, you just need to fix, let's see, this is like 17 ounces between the 2 of them, serving size a cup. But it's this Harris Teeter quick rice that I use because it has to be a 1-pan easy dish. So I'm using 1 brown and 1 white just because I like brown and they like white, and this is healthier, by the way. And so I'm going to normally use 2 of them, but Timmy was at the grocery store with me, so I had to buy the white one. But trust me, if you don't tell your family, they won't know because they really can't tell. And that's all we have to do. So as soon as this is brown, in half 3, those 2, and then we're going to cover it and simmer it for a few minutes. And so when you come back after this commercial break, come on, somebody sponsor me. Texas Pete, I'm right here for you. Harris Teeter, I spend a lot of money at your store with 2 teenagers. Anyway, y'all, this is inside of 30 minutes. You'll have supper, and it's healthy, and it's good. And I'll see you in a second. So I forgot to mention to y'all, as I'm dumping this stuff in the pan, I put in the tomatoes, half the container of chicken broth, and I'm putting in this Harris Teeter quick rice. What you'll notice is it comes out of the packet like this. It's like a big old, it almost looks like ramen noodles. Did y'all see that TikTok with that guy correcting Chris Cuomo with eating ramen noodles dry? I was entertained by his commentary, but mainly impressed that anybody can eat ramen noodles dry. But anyway, you got to crumble it up when it comes out because it'll be in these giant chunks. So get it mushed up good. And that's why you want to have a faucet in your kitchen like I have, the one that's you can touch with the back of your hand and not have to get your greasy, gross fingers all over it. So I'm going to get all that mixed in. Oh my gosh, y'all, this is so good. If only you could smell it. I'm pretty sure that when somebody invents smell-o-vision, we're all instantly going to put on a ton of weight because we're going to be so excited by the fact that we can smell things. We'll be eating all kinds. That's like 1, 2, 3. I mean, that's 3 tablespoons-ish. Maybe 4 because I'm making it. All right, so we're going to stir that in. Get everything friendly up in the pan. I'm going to cut my heat down to simmer. And then I'm fixing to get my lid out of the cupboard. Get that one last chunk broken up there. And then leave it in here. I'm going to say around the 7 to 10 minute mark, depending on what heat level you've selected. And when you look in and a lot of the spare liquid has been taken up, it'll be ready. So when I come back, I'll show you the finished product. And I wish I had started the timer because y'all would find out how fast and easy this is. See you in a second. How about that, y'all? 30 minutes to this. Oh yeah, try it sometime. Even if you're not a big spice fan, you'll love it. Subscribe, tell a friend, and I'll see you next time. And we'll probably have to do some sweets next time because I'm behind on desserts. So keep your eyes open for a really good 7-Up pound cake coming soon.